Well, hello, my friends. It is November 11th of 2019. This video is about the new wave of British heavy metal. This is a style of metal music that originated in the mid to late 1970s in Britain, of course. It was largely influenced by first wave heavy metal, second wave heavy metal, and the original punk movement. Some of the bands that would have a significant influence upon the style would include groups like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Blue Cheer, Thin Lizzy, The Scorpions, Rainbow, UFO, The Sex Pistols, The Clash, The Damned, and The Ramones. Some of the qualities of this music include faster tempos, faster than the first and second wave heavy metal bands. A lot of the band's vocalists would sing in more of a higher pitched or falsetto type vocal, although some vocalists did have more of a gruffer or raspier type of vocal. A lot of the bands would incorporate two guitar players and would employ twin guitar harmonies. The songs were oftentimes shorter and would incorporate very intense guitar solos. The lyrics would discuss a variety of different issues, everything from history to mythology to horror and also the occult. This style of music really started to become very popular around 1979 and peaked in popularity sometime in the early 1980s. Sometime around 81, 82, 83 is what it would have been at its most popular. It started to decline in popularity sometime around the mid 1980s, sometime around 85, 86, and this is the result of many different things, some of which would include the uprising of thrash metal and also glam metal. Although some bands broke up, a lot of bands continued on and continued to release albums. Some bands in recent years have regrouped and have continued to write and record music and perform live. Alright, so I have a list of 15 new wave of British heavy metal bands here. I consider these to be some of the most essential and important bands within this particular style of music. I will mention a few things though. I didn't incorporate or include Def Leppard. Although they are or were originally a part of this movement, they definitely went into more of a commercial hard rock direction, so I just decided not to include them. I know a lot of people would, but I just decided not to. Also, doom metal bands like Pagan Altar and Witchfinder General would be a part of this movement as well, but I just decided not to include them on the list, and to me they're more of a part of that early or first wave doom metal scene. Okay, so here's my list. I'm going to go through it right now. I'm going to mention a few things about each band. Okay, so let's get right into it. Iron Maiden. Everybody knows about Iron Maiden. They've been around since 1975, still very active. They have 16 full lengths. Second band is Motorhead. A lot of people would say that Motorhead shouldn't be on this list. I would definitely disagree with them. The reason being is some people say, well, Motorhead started, back in 1975 and had released a number of albums prior to this movement really exploding. So, but like I said, I definitely feel that they are very important as part of this movement and definitely deserve to be on this list. Okay, so Motorhead released 23 full lengths, and they split up in 2015. Lemmy Kilmister, who was the bassist, vocalist, and one of the main members of the band, he passed away in December of 2015, so they split up afterwards. Next band is Saxon. Saxon have been around since 1978. They're still active. And they have 23 full lengths. Next band is Judas Priest. Judas Priest are another one of those bands a lot of people say, well, maybe they shouldn't be on this list or part of this movement. And the reason being, again, is because they've been around since 1969. So they are, they have formed quite a ways before a lot of these other bands, but I definitely feel, and a lot of other people feel, that they definitely are part of this movement. And Judas Priest are definitely a very important part of this particular style, that's for sure. Okay, so Judas Priest, like I said, have been around since 1969, so quite a while. They have 18 full lengths, and they're still very active. Okay, next band is Diamond Head. They've been around since 1976, still active, and they have 8 full lengths. Tigers of Pantang. Okay, they've been around since 1978, still active, and 12 full lengths. Girls School, that's another very interesting band made up of all female members. Very cool. Okay, they've been around since 1978, and they have 13 full lengths. Venom, next band on the list. Venom are interesting because they definitely kind of stand out within that within this particular movement. They're also part of that first wave or early black metal movement. So they're very interesting. They've been around since 1979, and they have 15 full lengths. Okay, Angel Witch, next band. They've been around since 1978, still very active. They have 5 full lengths. They just recently released another album. Very cool. Next band, Samson. Samson formed back in 1977, and they split up in 2002, and they released 9 full lengths. Tank, that's the next band. They formed back in 1980. They released 6 full lengths. So the interesting thing about Tank is I don't know a whole lot about them, but it appears that they split up into 2 separate bands around 2007. So and those 2 separate bands have continued to release albums, but it appears that the original lineup released 6 full-length albums together. So very interesting. Raven, that's the next band. They've been around since 1974, still active, and they have released 12 full lengths. Quartz, they've been around since 1977, still active, and they have released 4 full lengths. Holocaust, okay, they've been around since 1977, and they have 9 full lengths. And the last band on the list is Witch Fiend. This is another band that really influenced that first wave of black metal. They've been around since 1973, and they have 6 full lengths, and they're still active. Okay, so that is my list of essential and important new wave of British heavy metal bands. You know, I definitely appreciate this style of music. It's not something that I've been into for quite a while, but it's also not something that I grew up with either. But I've definitely grown to really appreciate this music, and have developed a fondness for some of these bands. So it's become something important for me. It's a phenomenal style of music, and definitely one of the greatest movements within heavy metal, that's for sure. Alright, so that's the end of my video, and hopefully you learned something from this video. And thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves a good day. Okay, take care.